Welcome to part one of my 7-part parenting series. I am so excited that you are here with me. I have a lot of things to share on my heart over the course of the 7 different parts. And this one, we're going to start with infants. So, if you are watching this, chances are you have either just had a baby or you're about to have a baby or know somebody who is. So let's just start with congratulations. This is such an exciting time. I will say that I absolutely adore little babies. Um, that being said, my youngest baby is 15, almost 16. So I am not looking to have any more little babies to raise myself, but man, I love to hold a little baby. I just absolutely adore them. There's something so magical about a newborn baby. And so if you are in that category that has just had a baby or is just about to, congratulations, your life is about to change. For the better. Let me just be the one to tell you that it's for the better. You'll have probably a lot of people tell you that there's some scary things to being a mom. And let me be the one to tell you that it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And so, what I want to start by saying is that this whole series, this whole 7-part series, is a guide. So, I want to talk to you about the things that have worked for me and maybe some things that haven't worked for me. Um, by no means do I want you to ever feel like this is a video or a blog of shoulds or should nots, or you should definitely do this or you should definitely do that or you're a terrible parent. Absolutely not. I really truly believe that all parents and moms have this intuition inside of them, and you just need to tap into that intuition and trust it. So, with that, I will just share my journey, my story, and what's worked for me in different stages. So, let's talk about babies. So, my first time being a mom, I was a very young mom. I got pregnant at the age of 18. So, there was a lot of shame and stigma around my pregnancy and the idea of being a mom. And I was very adamant that I wanted to try to avoid the stigma of being just another teenage mom. I didn't want to just be another statistic. Now, was I a statistic? Technically. But I didn't want people to look at me and just be like, oh, well, there's another teenage mom. Because I knew that I had it in me somehow to be a good mom. And I had no idea what that meant, but I just believed it so deeply. But I was also scared. I was so full of self doubt and a lot of insecurities that had been rooted for a long time in my life. And so I was very intent on trying to find ways to be a good mom. And when it comes to being the mother of an infant, I will say that there was one book that was given to me when I was pregnant by a lady in my church, and it was called Baby Wise. And that book became my Bible for raising infants. I literally, with every single child, not just the first one, but baby number 2, baby number 3, baby number 4, baby number 5, every single one of them, I went back to the techniques in this book, and it literally was amazing. Saved my life as a mom. I believe it wholeheartedly. So let's talk about the things that Baby Wise talks about. I'm going to just talk about it very, very briefly in the way that I understand it and the way that it applied for me. I highly recommend that if you want to explore some of this a little bit more, if anything I say sounds intriguing, get the book, Baby Wise. They still sell it today. And I will say that that to me just proves how timeless it is. This wasn't a fad that just came and went. For a few years, everybody was pushing it and then it faded off and kind of disappeared. Absolutely not. This book was first given to me 25 years ago, and you can still find it on Amazon, and you can still find it on their website, babywise.com. It's still sold regularly and used, and they have updated it and revised it and made the cover look more appealing to today's market. And it's still very much applicable to moms, no matter if it was in 1998 or 2023. So let's start with that. Second thing, there are 3 basic parts to the infant's day. Every single day, there are 3 basic parts that the baby just cycles through. And these are the feeding time, the wake time, and the sleep time. And those 3 specific times are very important. They're the key. They're the key to your sanity. Let me explain. So you start with feeding time every single day. You start with feeding time. As soon as the baby wakes up, they eat. And then you have wake time. So you have playtime. You get to play with the little baby, make silly faces with it, give it a bath. At sometimes, like, not every time they're awake every day, but whether it's bathing or playing or having, time on the floor with mommy, or the time that you snuggle and hold the baby, that's really important. And that's a great bonding time during that wake time, right after feeding. Feeding, wake time, and then sleep time. Now, the key to these 3 things is making sure that they all happen in the specific order. It has to be feeding first, and then wake time, and then playtime. And then sleep time, excuse me. Feed time, wake time, sleep time. And by following this basic guideline of this particular order of these 3 things, you can train your baby to sleep through the night. Yes, I said it. Through the night in a matter of weeks. I did it. All 5 of mine. My children, if you know them today, their personalities are completely different. I have 5 very different humans, and as babies, they were very different babies. However, this worked with all 5 of them. And again, this is not a you should, you have to, you're going to be a terrible mom if you don't. No. Again, follow your intuition. Do what feels right for you. But I will offer this program, I believe, it's not even a program, it's just a philosophy. It's a basic structure. It's getting a schedule and a routine. Why do you want to put your baby to sleep after they've had wake time? I mean, let's think about this. So many times you have your baby falling asleep while they're feeding, while they're either nursing or taking a bottle. And what does this do? What that does is that puts your baby to sleep on a full tummy. And how many times have you heard the term milk coma? Oh my goodness. The little baby's in milk coma. Look at the baby sleeping with milk dripping down her little face. It can seem so cute. I have to say, I have seen it happen, and it's quite cute. But what that does is that makes your baby fall asleep on a full stomach, oftentimes without being properly burped, or just it puts them in a state where, first of all, it can cause extra tummy issues because they aren't burped properly when they just fall asleep mid-meal. And secondly, their little tummies don't have time to digest all of that milk that they've just taken in. So they're more likely to wake up very quickly. And then each time they want to go to sleep, they get trained to think that they have to have that full tummy and that feeding sensation in order to fall asleep. Or because they fall asleep while you're feeding them, they get trained to fall asleep only if they're being held. Or if you follow the system in BabyWise and you have the feed time, and then the wake time, and then the sleep time, the baby has time to digest the food and then learns how to fall asleep by themselves. When you take them and you put them in their sweet little bassinet or crib, and they learn how to fall asleep on their own. They learn how to self-soothe. And let me tell you, that is an amazing feeling. There is not one chance in the world that this will cause your baby to have a lack of um, comforting, a lack of hugs and snuggles and love. I promise they get all of that while they're feeding or nursing or during the playtime when they're awake and bath time. But what it does is it gives their body the time to do what it needs to do before it goes to sleep. And when you have a 2 month old baby or a month and a half old baby and they are sleeping all the way through the night, and then you, as mama, you get to sleep all the way through the night, your quality of life is off the charts. It is so good. Because when you are a tired mama, when you have a baby that is constantly waking up and falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep, you tend to go into that same cycle. So you never have this solid sleep. And we know scientifically that getting a good night's sleep is imperative to having a really healthy lifestyle. And if you are not functioning as a healthy mama, you're not going to be able to show up as the best mama for your baby. So it is imperative that you take care of yourself. And part of taking care of yourself is incorporating a routine that helps your baby to get on your schedule as well. It ends up being amazing for everybody. Again, take this as you will. And just know that I'm only sharing this as a mom of 5 who has experienced this, and I can tell you that it is absolutely amazing. Now, I also want to share one more thing that I think is extremely important for every new mom. I want you to know this. I want you to trust yourself. And if you are about to be a new grandma or a new aunt or uncle, or if you have a good friend who is about to give birth to a baby, or let's take this even a little bit further. Let's say you know a young teenager who finds themselves about to be a mom and they just aren't ready. As a support person in their life, no matter what stage of life they're in when they're about to be a mom, the single best thing that you can do for them is to believe in them. Moms who are believed in, their confidence goes up so high and they are able to show up better. Just take a moment to tell the new mom to be in their life, how much you believe in them as a mom. Because I believe 100% that we are all given the ability to be a good mom. Whether we are adopting a baby, or we are giving birth to our first baby, or we're fostering a little baby, no matter what the circumstances are that we find ourselves entering into motherhood, we have what it takes. And we have to trust ourselves, and that is so much easier when our support system believes in us as well. Before I let you go, there is one more thing that I want to show you, and that is this little book right here. The book that I was talking about, Baby Wise. It is absolutely my favorite baby book of all time, obviously. And what I want to do is I want to give this book away. So if you are interested in anything that I have said today, or if anything sparks any little bit of interest, or if you're just a mom who's just like, hey, I wouldn't mind finding out about that, comment on this part 1 and let me know what intrigued you. Was there something about it that that resonated with you? I'd love to hear. Or if you're just a mom to be or a new mom and you're like, you know what, I'd really just love to have that book, let me know. I want to send it to you completely free as my gift to you, because this impacted my life in such a positive way. I just want to share it. So I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a great week next week. Next Friday, we come back with part 2 for this parenting series. I love you guys. Thanks so much for joining me.